let's talk pen testing, penetration testing. We have long held at MSP Alliance that penetration testing is one of those things that it's highly advisable for an end user customer to have. I think it's highly advisable for an MSP to get if they can, cost justify it. My question to both of you, should an MSP be in the business of delivering penetration testing services to an end user customer for whom they are managing something, anything within the IT stack? Your thoughts,
No, I think
Travis?
that's an
Yeah,
inherent
I
conflict of
mean,
interest.
yeah, yeah. Houston's not that far from here. Enron, Arthur Anderson, like when the auditors are doing the remediation work, there are problems. Yeah, you should know. And that's been like for us, that's been a long standing. We will never pen test our clients, and we tell our clients up front, you don't want us to pen test you, and here's why. Because if you want to rely on it, especially now as the pen tests aren't just a like good housekeeping exercise. If we're going to do a pen test proactively because we want to make sure our stuff is good, that's great. But when the pen test is coming from insurance and compliance and regulation, and there's teeth and consequences behind an incident or a compromise, and that this stuff is going to get surfaced back with lawyers and law enforcement and God knows who else, just the court of public opinion, probably the scariest of all of those. I don't, as an MSP, we need to protect ourselves and distance ourselves from.
Okay. So Neil, you said conflict of interest. Definitely agree, right? You can't test what you're managing actively. It's too close, but it doesn't mean that you can't be involved in facilitating. Would you go that far? Would you be comfortable referring out? Would you just say to the customer, you're on your own, figure it out? Where do you stand on?
Yeah, so we have 3 or 4 vendors that we use, and we will cycle them through every couple of years with each customer so that it's not the same pen tester twice in a row. We get differencing of opinion, of methodologies, of reporting, and the customer gets a slightly different experience each time. No one pen tester is going to know everything, and we've got a few that we will refer you to, but it is a direct relationship between the customer and the pen tester. The contract doesn't flow through us. The payment doesn't flow through us.
Okay. So, Travis, any issues with that approach to?
Exactly what we do.
Okay. What about, so you've articulated a very arm's length transactional process for pen testing. You handle it, you make the
I would call
referral.
it transparent, not arm's length, right? We're still involved in the process. We're still setting the scope. We're still working with the pen test to get it set up, providing information. We want to be part of it because we don't want to lose control of the relationship where the pen testers come in and, oh, we found all this stuff and now your MSP sucks. Like we want to maintain some relationship there, but we want the contract on their paper. We want the payment to flow through. We want them to communicate directly with the client when it comes time for the report and all that stuff. But we don't. So I like transparency more than arm's length.
Okay, fair enough. I accept that point. Let's now assume that the pen test has been completed. Do either of you have an issue with what is your level of involvement with the pen test report or the results? Most pen testing services have some sort of, probably a perfunctory report that's generated, the findings. Are you involved as the MSP of record in the reading and the digestion and the after action, if you will, of the pen test report and anything that could come out of it, including recommendations, changes? Where do you stand on that issue?
Yeah, I mean, we sit on the client side of the table in that conversation of we take as much ownership of the network as they do that was being pen tested. So any of the results and findings are feedback on effectively our services and the proactive work we've been doing to protect the client. So yeah, we take the report the same as the client does. And for most small businesses, that client might as well be in Latin to them, but we know how to translate it, how to remediate it. And one of the things we always require of any pen test written into the agreement is that anything that's in the report, give us a period of time to remediate it and then retest those same vulnerabilities. And then don't amend the report, but just kind of issue an addendum to it that says, we did this pen test, we found these 5 things. Within 30 days, they remediated 3 of the 5, and we retested and confirmed that they are fully remediated and like close the loop. So again, like don't just take our word that we fixed it. They're actually going to retest it for us.